Central Station, at the heart of Glasgow for 140 years. Meet the people who make the station work. Running over 950 trains a day for 32 million passengers a year.
Every day there's always some challenges. I've got good optimism every day. You have to have as a station manager.
There's one thing I hate is an unhappy passenger.
It's supposed to look like it's going to look clockwork. That's because we're really good at it.
Guys, get through the wide gate over there, please. Thank you. Organised chaos. But we make it work.
Central to Glasgow. That's Glasgow Central.
I'm ready for my close-up now, Mr. DeLeo. No job's too big or small.
So Monday is pigeon check day. I'm going to count pigeons.
Day and night for one long summer, we follow the people working all hours to keep the station on track. This time on Inside Central Station.
It's total chaos, absolute disorganisation.
It's not very good to see cancelled across the board or delayed across the board. It's not good.
As the Glasgow Herald said at the time, if the wars in Central Station could talk, what a hellish story they would tell us, and I firmly believe that's true.
Yeah, I'm coming for you, son.
Out, just kind of threatening each other, and then they're talking about stabbing one another, so there's never a dull moment.
Bet you thought we did nothing, eh?
It is the start of the summer holidays, and Central Station is busier than ever. Trains from Central take passengers to over 220 destinations all over Britain. Today, things aren't going to plan.
We do see that quite a bit of the trains are delayed because of some walks which are going on. So,
but we also have a connecting train to catch from Manchester to Leeds. So I'm a bit worried on that.
Your attention, please. The 11:13 ScotRail service to Kilmarnock has been cancelled. This is due to overrunning engineering works.
We do engineering works at most weekends. Last night they did start the work. It was anticipated to be fixed by 6 o'clock this morning, but obviously there's still delays and cancellations. The work has went over its time, so unfortunately the passengers are all going to be delayed. Of all the days, this is a bank holiday for Glasgow. It's the Glasgow Fair weekend. So we not only have regular commuters being disrupted, we also have passengers going further afield for their fair holiday weekend.
Going as far back as the 12th century, the fair marks the start of a fortnight's holiday in Glasgow.
All the factories that years ago used to close down, and all the workers were off for those 2 weeks, so there was nothing done at all.
This is the heart of a great city in mid-afternoon, a special afternoon, an afternoon of the Glasgow Fair holiday. Glasgow is almost empty. Glasgow has gone doon the water.
It is quite impressive when you walk in here, isn't it?
Tom and Marie were among the families who set off from Central Station for their holidays.
All the places closed down, didn't they?
All production, all jobs normally closed down the last 2 weeks of July. That was what was regarded as the Glasgow Fair holidays. My memories here as men lined up, lugging these cases, and every man had on a gabardine trench coat and a flat cap. And the women,
They had on a hat, like a sun hat, a dress. They just wore their Sunday best when they were going to be on holiday. Because you had to dress up, that was the thing.
thousands came here for the trains here to take them down the Ayrshire coast. There would be queues from every platform right outside the station.
People were excited going on a train, going somewhere for their holiday. It was fabulous, it really was.
Unfortunately, the trains aren't going far this fair holiday.
Trying to get a train out to Lanarkshire and came in, train in Lanark on time, then delayed, now cancelled. What's happening with the trains?
We're going to Lanark, right? Normally when there's a failure it would only last for a couple of hours, but this one's been on, as far as I'm aware, since 7:30 this morning.
The train's delayed to Wimsby, and obviously we don't know how much longer it's going to be, so in the circumstances I won't be going to Wimsby.
I'm going to meet my sister, and I'm just wondering, do you know when the next train's arriving from Cathcart?
From Cathcart? Right, do you know there's loads of delays and cancellations?
The railway system is constantly breaking down. It's an absolute shambles, and this is the third holiday whereby you can see around you total chaos.
Driver 1350 Lanark, can you please contact the train crew supervisor, please? I'm unable to get control at the moment. It's not looking very likely, but give me 2 minutes and I'll get back to you soon as. Okay, I'll let you know soon as.
1350 Lanark, can show the Motherwell driver on it.
Right, 1258.
Up in the train supervisor office, Colin and John are feeling the pressure.
Thanks, pal. Cheers.
We've had a lot of problems with services this morning throughout the network. So as a result, I've come out to assist Colin. The full services is completely broke down today. Hold on, 2 seconds. Hello? Hello? I've got a 1350 Lanark sitting here, no driver. I've got a Lars sitting here, no driver. The problem we have here, I've got drivers at other depots that should be here, and drivers in Central should be down at other depots. So we've not got the train crews where they should be and plan for their next movements of work. Some days you have space, some days you don't, but unfortunately today we've none. If you could give me 2 minutes, I'm going to speak to control at the moment to find out where the driver is for the Lars. It's affecting all the customers everywhere from going from Glasgow Central. And all the stations out with Glasgow Central.
Your attention, please. 12:17 service to East Kilbride is delayed.
I was coming up to Glasgow from Ardrossan to get the train to Salisbury via London. I should have got here for the 20 to 10 train to London, but unfortunately because my train up to Glasgow was delayed, I've missed my train. I use the trains a lot and I very, very, very rarely am I delayed. This is my first delay in a long, long time.
I was caught up in the cancellations one. I was an hour and a half late for my work. I managed to get a quick break there just to get away to charge my batteries up again.
Driver 1350 Lanark, can you please contact the train crew supervisor, please?
John and Colin organised drivers to get a few trains running.
Rob, I'm going to put you on the 1350 Barhead, pal. Guys, up with platform 9. Top of 9. Conductor for me, aye? Aye, just he's getting his stuff.
Unfortunately, it's a customer that's suffering. Just thankfully, there's a lot of people, it's a bank holiday and they're off work today, so they're not going to be stranded going to work and coming home from work. So that's if it was a good thing to be had, but that's possibly the only thing. I understand, but we've got trains standing here. I know that we're all trying to do our best, though, but I'll try to do our best.
The team have caught up with the backlog caused by the overrun of the engineering works. Priority now is to get everything back to normal for the evening peak.
The shifts have now been changed over, So staff booking on the now are in the right place for the trains that should be driving. So that's a big bonus for us at the moment. So the trains are here, the trains are running, the line's open, all's good.
Everything seems to be running back normal. I'm glad for the passengers and for the staff tonight. So it's a wee bit less hassle for them all tonight if the trains are all up running again. So happy days.
We're getting there.
That's me off until tomorrow at 7:30. Catch up with you then. Bye.
Teamwork makes the dream work. There's a thought. There's a thought.
Pen, clipboard is always good to have.
Duty manager Drew has an unusual health and safety check on his agenda for the day.
We've got various checks to carry out, and one of the checks is actually pigeon check. Some people think that we kid on about these checks, but this is actually the pigeon control inspection. And what we do basically is go around, would you believe, we count the pigeons. So we'll go about, we'll try and see if we can find any pigeons. I can see a song coming for this here. And also one thing we're trying to discourage is customers obviously feed the pigeons, but we try and discourage that. Because obviously if you're feeding the pigeons, then there's a chance that they'll fly up and then they'll do the pigeon drums on the concourse. So 2 or 3 pigeons there, so I'll just record that on the machine, the sheet there. The risk is obviously the pigeon drums landing in the concourse, and it creates a slip hazard. And we've had situations in the past where customers have actually come through and actually slipped in pigeon drums. The other risk is obviously pigeon drum landing in customers and the possibility of claiming for their clothing to be dry cleaned, which we've had in the past. Hiya! That's one of the pigeons. The pigeons for Glasgow are very, very smart. They try and catch us out. They try and hide. They hide everywhere. You see some slight signs, this area here. I could be counting the same pigeons about 10 times over. So there's 3 up there I'm watching just now, so that's obviously an area that I like to sit. There's another one landed, a pigeon has landed. Recently it's not been too bad. Matter of fact, I think the 3 pigeons we've seen there recently, I think they're just out for the day, so there are another 2. See, they knew I was doing a pigeon check, so that's how they're coming down. The youngins enjoy them. So if you wonder what I do on a Monday, I monitor the pigeons.
No, but you want some more water? It's too hot up here.
Sarah is one of the gate supervisors at Central Station.
Well, the sun's out for a change. The sun's never out here. So you get a lot more passengers coming through for leisure purposes, heading down to Ayr, the beach, all that kind of stuff.
It's a wee map of Greenock. You can usually tell when someone's from the cruise ship. Usually American accents, they give away, but you can see them from a distance. It's like Hawaiian shirt, sunglasses. It's like a wee sort of trilby type hat. And if he's with a female, they're all wearing sunglasses and Crocs. one thing I always find with cruise ship passengers is their pronunciations of some of our towns. So we usually get Greenock instead of Greenock. One time my colleague got asked about the train back to Greencock, but it was pronounced Greencock. So.
I'll give you a wee hand here. Oh, I never worked anyway, 2 seconds.
As supervisor, Sarah is also the first point of call for any passenger incidents.
A man, I've had to sit him into the body shop. He's not feeling, he's put a kind of bathtub, he's with his partner. But I think we're needing some kind of assistance.
No bother. Right, just let them come through here. There's a passenger not feeling well. I need to go down to 7 and 8. Right. What happened, guys? I'll phone an ambulance. That's no bother. No bother at all, right?
You don't feel well and shaky.
No, that's no good. Just keep sitting there now. Can you see if there's any spare bottles of water at 3 to 6 then?
Sarah calls NHS 24, who assess the passenger's condition over the phone and recommend that he go to his local hospital.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye. They're asking if we can put them onto the Wishaw service with a wheelchair. They can get a taxi from there directly to Wishaw General. See, I'll go down to the mobility point and see. Right, thanks.
How can I help you?
Hi, yeah, it's Sarah from the gate line. I've actually got a passenger who's trying to get on the 1820 Lanark. Have you got a wheelchair or anything?
There's a wheelchair at mobility point, I'll ask someone to bring it up for them.
Right, thanks very much, thank you. Bye. Graham, you go in and sell?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I'll do the gate straight. So he's been put on the train. I'll probably head over in 5 minutes to make sure the ticket examiner knows that he's on and to give him assistance getting back off. But they're just going to get a taxi to the hospital from there.
A relatively recent addition to Central Station, the piano is extremely popular with the public, who often pass through just to play on it.
It's easier in here, it's quiet.
Today it is taking a short break from the concourse for a routine tune-up.
2, 3. Perfect. The problem with a piano is it's so mechanical. There's thousands of moving parts. Depending on who's playing on it, especially in Central Station, you've got so many different types of musicians, pianists. They all play hard, some of them play soft. So we have the job every time we come to find all the broken bits, see what we can do, see if we can fix it here. If not, take the bits back to the workshop and fix them there.
So we had a broken part on one of the hammers here. It had snapped. What we're doing for now is swapping it with the part that's on the very top note, which gets used hardly ever. So we get it all up and working again apart from the very top note.
There you go.
Well done.
25 years of experience.
So this should be ready to go back in. I think all of it should be working now.
Generally, the people in Glasgow have looked after this. We didn't think it would last a few months, and can't believe how well looked after it's been. It's great. It's created a beautiful atmosphere and something new.
to. It's all fixed. So, play away, guys.
How's everybody? I love Scotland. It just reminded me of where I grew up when I was a child. When I first came up, it was actually warned there was actually no season in Scotland. It was either kind of various shades of grey. As soon as I stepped off one of the old British rail trains, we actually got hit with literally floods. Yeah, we got, so platform number 3, as I said. Anytime there's any kind of sunshine here, people are very surprised to see that yellow thing in the sky. You almost kind of react to it as if you've never actually seen it before, so people kind of all rush out, whip off their tops, just because they might actually kind of run away from it and might never see it again, so, hiya.
I am struggling a little bit. Being half Chinese, I can usually handle the heat, but not inside this greenhouse. The glass ceiling's making it a bit difficult to even stay sane, I suppose you could say.
It's not just the staff that can't cope with the heat.
Board's been down for about half an hour. Very worried passengers thinking that their trains had been cancelled because they weren't on the board, but it was just the board just got a bit overheated.
It just causes confusion because then folk don't know where their trains are, we don't know what train to get on. We've certainly seen the gates as well, a lot of them overheat because they're sitting there 24/7, always on. It's just that because there's not any fresh air coming in, that's just constantly pumping round warm air, and it's not good for the machines.
It is the hottest day of June so far.
Well, what an absolute scorcher it's been out there today. Top temperatures getting over 30 degrees Celsius at Aviemore. That's the first time we've managed to get over 30 for 5 years. And the highest June temperature was recorded for over 20 years. So a significant hot spell for the time of year.
ScotRail 7, we're getting the update on the 1504, 1506A. I know Control was asking about it.
1504 has been cancelled, the 1506 group has been cancelled.
For Colin, the sunshine brings with it some bad news. The unusually hot weather is causing a points failure on a vital track junction just outside the station. Allowing trains to shift from one rail line to another, if the points overheat and expand, they can't move. And neither can the trains.
Guys, all the gates are open. Nearly every train up here.
Gate staff are helping passengers keep their cool.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's the air, a Drawson large. Over the next hour it's going to be pretty challenging due to the influx of commuters and stuff like that, but we can only do our best. I'm just really warm, but we've got plenty of water and stuff, so we'll just need to manage.
It's total chaos, absolute disorganisation. No help to any passengers. The staff can't answer any questions because they don't know.
What's the Hampden Row?
The Hampden Row is, mate, the situation's getting steadily worse, mate. We've just got a queue of traffic sitting at Shields. They come one way or another.
No, I heard that because Davey, the air conductor, stuck out there. He's the 1547 East Kilbride guard.
Colin's job is to ensure there's enough drivers and conductors available to run the trains.
I take it they can't give us any advice on how long this is going to be in this state?
Probably not, mate, no.
The unexpected disruption has meant drivers are stuck miles away from the station and can't get to their trains.
1536 Gourock runs. The driver is also stuck at Shield Junction, but I've been told off control he is getting a move in.
You rang?
Can you jump on the Nielsen for me, please?
Do the Gourock on that you've mapped. The Gourock, the Nielsen.
The Nielsen on that, yeah. 1535 Nielsen, please. Thank you. Central.
It is now rush hour, and as the temperatures soar into the high 20s, the heat is on to get the trains moving.
Peak time, so a lot of people are finishing work, and a lot of people obviously finishing a long shift and want to get home, so frustration can run high, especially with the heat as well.
Just with all the kind of delays and cancellations today, the heat makes people kind of act slightly different, and I think he's took his frustration out on the door, unfortunately.
We came for the 1701 to East Kilbride, which was cancelled. We were then told to get on the 1718, which was also cancelled after half an hour. We were told to leave the train. Our next one has been delayed. That's over an hour in the station and no service.
It's not an easy fix, and a lot of people just want a way home, and unfortunately it's not always the case. We can give them an option until it's fixed, because buses don't run to everywhere as well. So a lot of people, a lot of the places they go to, there just isn't a bus route. We can only give them the best options as we have, really. And I do feel bad, but unfortunately I'm doing as much as I can.
I don't have a conductor and I don't have one to step up at present. The conductor is currently stuck out at Shields with this ongoing problem. I advise control to see what they want to do.
I finished work at 6, got to the station. I've been sitting here for half an hour. I was told to get on the train because it was being prepared 30 minutes ago. We all sat in a sweltering train as they let more and more people on. This guy was on the train as well. Honestly, it's been an absolute farce.
It's shocking.
Shocking.
All stoppers are running, but I've got your tags. I booked in for 27 under your name, so hopefully by about past it's there, pal.
Collins managed to coordinate enough drivers to keep a limited service going.
Platform 4. It looks like we're getting some trains leaving, which is good, so I'm just radioing for information clarification of what trains are leaving. That should make people happy, hopefully.
Although a few trains are leaving the station, the relief is short-lived.
What's going on? Nothing's running now.
They're telling us to tell people to make their own arrangements.
Another points failure further up the line at Greenock is causing even more cancellations.
Across the board, it's delayed and cancelled.
Just taking it each train at a time.
Definitely.
Each train at a time.
It's not very good to see cancelled across the board or delayed across the board. It's not good.
We've had some disruption to our services, which has been disappointing. We did get the service back for a few hours, but again, because of the heat, it's affected some of our points, and a lot of the lines have been disrupted because of that. So unfortunately, obviously we were left with some customers here just now at the moment who were looking to try and get home.
Making sure as many passengers as possible get home safely, staff have directed them to bus stops outside the station.
Most people would say, well, snow, that kind of thing, wind, storms, but actually when the sun comes out, it's a happy experience for a lot of people, but actually there are some pressures that are on the railway in terms of the infrastructure and how that's affected by the heat as well. So we do have to look after both sides of that, and unfortunately a lot of people maybe don't understand kind of how that can impact us, obviously, in the stations.
As night sets in, trains are still grounded.
It's just a bit of like a ghost town at the minute because it's so empty, when it's usually really busy at this time, so There's still a lot of people waiting on the sleeper train in hopes that will leave, and we're not too sure if that's leaving or not. But then a lot of people hanging about because they're meeting people here to pick them up and things. And they'll work on it, if it's not fixed already, they'll work on it overnight to make sure that it's running for tomorrow, for everyone to get to work on time or get home if they need to.
The temperature cools down through the night, allowing the track maintenance team to fix the points failure. And it's business as usual for Central in the morning. For 140 years, Central Station has been in the heart of Glasgow. Tour guide Paul is passionate about the building's history. One of his most poignant stories begins at the station's main platforms.
Platforms 1 and 2 in Glasgow Central Station, I think, resonate with particular importance in that before the First World War and the Second World War itself, many families came to the entrance to the platform to say goodbye to their loved ones, to the fathers and sons that left to fight in various conflicts and never come back again.
In 1914, when the Great War broke out, stations all over Britain were transformed overnight as hundreds of thousands of soldiers set out to their unknown fate.
As the men headed off in the trains on this platform, heading towards France for the First World War, there was a pipe band lined up here, playing the men off.
A gruesome chapter in the station's history is hidden underneath the platforms.
It's the original Victorians.
Paul shares the stories on his tours.
Now we know about the big military cemeteries that there is in France and Belgium in particular, for the men that were slaughtered on both sides during the First World War. If we take in isolation one battle, the Battle of Somme, collectively just over 440,000 men lost their lives. Now before we got these cemeteries abroad, for a brief period in time, railway stations such as here, Edinburgh Waverley, London Euston and King's Cross were used as temporary mortuaries. To introduce this, I'll give you a quote concerning this place. 25th of May 1918. There's no more piteous a sight in the whole of Glasgow than platform number 1 in Central Station, where the women and wains are standing roaring and greeting, waiting for their fathers and sons coming back to the front. If you came through the big gates in Gordon Street in 1915, 16, 17 and stood on that concourse directly above us, you would have stood normally what seemed like a different railway station. The big wooden doors in the goods compartments of these trains were getting flung open, and the servicemen were carrying stretchers off them. Stretchers, no coffins. And on these stretchers were the bodies of the men that fell beside them, bodies wrapped in heavy woolen army blankets. And they were brought down these stairs. We come down at 9 and 10 to here. Rows and rows of bodies, all lying here wrapped up in these heavy blankets, all lying in these big wooden stretchers. The identification process down here for these women is truly beyond my comprehension. Do you know they had to walk up and down the rows, pulling back the blankets? Is it him? I'm no sure. Here's the end of this. Once you two women have come down here, identified your loved one's body, right over to you. It's your responsibility now. The two of you get him in that stretcher, and between the two of you, somehow try and get him up these stairs if we come down at 9 and 10 and out of this damn place. I know why they call it a dead weight. They weren't strong enough. So with you Dermals, you can back up these stairs. There was unemployed older men up there, want to make a couple of bob, and they fine well knew what your company asked them, because they had that much experience it before. So in your hour of utter anguish, you had to approach two absolute strangers, give them men a couple of shillings, and they come back down these stairs with you, and they carried your father's body out this place. How important is it to keep these stories alive for future generations? And I think, to be honest with you folks, however harrowing those stories might be, that's the main reason for the tours of Central. I think particular poignancy is there when it comes to the First World War and the loss, the mass loss of men. As the Glasgow Herald said at the time, if the boys in Central Station could talk, what a hellish story they would tell us, and I firmly believe that's true. I think when we look at 109,000 people that come through this station every single day, it'd be great if a few of them recognise the debt that we have to these men and the sacrifice that they gave.
When you're in the pub and you're in a group of people and you're maybe meeting people for the first time, you say to them, well, if you guess what I do for a living, I'll buy you a drink. If you don't, you buy me a drink. And you always get, the first one is, oh, you work shifts, you must be a nurse. You wear a uniform, you must be in the police. You're out and about, right, okay, so you work in transport? Yeah, all right, you must be an air hostess. No, they never, ever guess train driver, never, no way.
In 1978, Karen Harrison made history by becoming the first female train driver in Britain. But progress has been slow. Today, only around 6% of train drivers in the UK are women.
I like driving at 90 miles an hour. That's pretty cool. Just flying down the track. You need to be able to concentrate for long periods of time. You really do need to be able to concentrate. That's the biggest thing, and it's the hardest thing about the job. Just being able to maintain your focus for hours on end with nobody else around you, nobody else to talk to, nothing. You know, you sometimes find yourself singing away to yourself, the wheels on the train go round and round. I suppose the main thing is you've got to like your own company. And you've got to appreciate time on your own, and it gives you time to think about life, the universe, the world, everything. I enjoy the fact that I know I've got people from their work to their home on time, that they've had a good day because my train has arrived on time. It's made their day better because I've done my job well, and that makes me feel good. I think the face of the railway is changing, but I think it's possibly a lot to do with society and how society thinks of things. Like years ago, a father would tell their son, oh, come and get a job in the railway. Well, maybe now they're telling their daughters, maybe now they're telling their nieces, rather than it just being a male-dominated environment, jobs for the boys.
Alison ends her shift back at the depot, where the train will be cleaned before it goes back out in the morning.
Hi, Corker Hill. This is the driver of 003, standing at Sierra 1 signal for you. Stop short of the sets in front of me. Understood. Thank you. Bye. I'll be taking this train to be put to bed for the night so that it can be properly looked after, and then from there I can go home too. Thanks. Night.
Well done. Wesley.
The busy concourse is the perfect environment for some guide dog puppy training.
The train station's really challenging because of all the noises and all the business here. There's people, there's dogs as well that you don't normally get in indoor places when we're working, and that can be a real bugbear for the dogs, seeing other dogs around and they can't go and speak to them. Get them to do a set facing in on your left-hand side. Bring Wesley here.
While most of the trainees are settling into their surroundings, Mischief has got the better of one pup.
Wesley, sit. Yeah, Wesley's excited because he's just come into the station and he's met all his friends that are here. So it's just trying to keep him from getting too overexcited until... Wesley, enough. We try to do it as positively as we can, but as you can see with an excited dog, that's quite difficult. Put them on your left to bring them in a little bit closer. That's it. There's also pigeons flying about in here a lot. And that's quite a thing for the dogs also to cope with and not go chasing the birds when they do see them, because they do like to chase a pigeon or two if they get the chance, but we're working with them all the time to stop that. We'll go round this way, right round, just keep to the edges and go right up, right round by the barriers. We'll go right up the top end as well and back down here, back to here. The best student that's listening, I would say, is probably the most experienced one. So it's Katrina with Nana. Roscoe's the youngest, so you expect him to be a bit more boisterous, but actually Wesley's the boisterous one and he's a bit older and should know better. But it is all in their temperament. Every dog's temperament's different. And for Wesley, he gets himself a bit wound up about it. So that comes out in bad behaviour when it's mostly just anxiety, a little bit of worriedness.
For decades, the station's iconic clock has been a meeting point for friends, lovers and families.
We're Irish dancers and we're about to head off to Orlando for the North American National Championships.
Today, it's playing host to a very 21st century rendezvous. A Pokemon hunt. An online game where people search for a virtual cartoon character.
Pikachu, Pidgey, Bulbasaur.
The group is hoping to capture a rare character that is on the loose in Central Station.
It's a Tier 5 legendary Pokemon called Ho-Ho.
We've just got to battle it.
So you've just got to battle it, take it down.
But at the end of it, we've got to catch it as well. So it's one thing defeating this bird, okay? But at the end of it, we've got to catch it. And that's a bit harder, isn't it? And we're also, with this one, they can be shiny, which is actually the big attraction today because the shinies have just come out. Pokemon players around the world will know exactly what we're doing, won't they? Yeah. The rest of the world will be confused.
That's it, defeated. There's no shiny. Yes! Did you get a shiny? Nice!
Yeah, well done!
You'll get it now.
I'm shaking.
No, look, you've got it. You've got it. There you go.
Well done!
There you go.
Thank you! We're all aiming to find a shiny. That's it. It makes our day, doesn't it? Oh, I know, I need to sit down. Oh, I'm so chuffed.
It's just a buzz because it's coming up to all the holiday time and it's just filled with people going different locations.
Kirstine has worked at Central Station's information desk for 5 years.
You hand out loads of maps, ask loads of questions, they look for restaurants, different things to do. I sent a few to the brewery yesterday. They all came back, had a very good time with the fish supper. So they were very happy. So I like to see that I've made a difference and they've enjoyed their stay in Glasgow. Only do a couple of days, but I like to people watch and it's very interesting. I like to see all the luggage and all the animals. I love dogs. So I'm always looking out for wee dogs to pet and I just love it. And I've got a good viewpoint here and look around and I used to be a deputy manager in a bookmaker's. I was there for 9 years and it was okay. And then I'd had enough. I got robbed at knife point. My samurai sword with somebody I knew. I was never the same after that. I couldn't settle. So I just had to find something else. For about maybe a year or so after it, I found it hard to build up trust with people again. Because here you're never alone, there's always somebody around, there's plenty of people. There's always somebody that would help me if I need it. You're never on your own here.
Glasgow lost property, how can I help?
Left luggage and lost property is one of the busiest places in the station at this time of year.
Because it's a big commuting station, this one, there could be about 30 items coming in a day. On a busy weekend day, it could be 50 items. They're not all big, they're not all bags, but you get bank cards, travel passes, keys as the bigger things that people are not used to travelling with, and when they're not used to travelling with things, they very often forget to lift it off the train.
In the busy summer months, it doesn't take long for the shelves to get full with the weird and wonderful things passengers leave behind.
Our storage space is kind of split in two between left luggage and lost property. We've also got like guitars, baby seat, the telly that's been there as well. Sometimes I don't quite get it, like a big massive case like some of these, or for instance, a wheelchair. There's a possibility to maybe get another one and forgot it somewhere, but yeah, we won't know until somebody actually comes in to claim it. We get a lot of stuff handed in from inside the station when people are drunk. For instance, people going to Burger King next door, they'll sit and get a burger, and then they'll go outside for a smoke or something and leave their bag sitting there and completely forget about it, and it gets handed in and then they go away and forget about it. Phones and wallets are another thing we normally get when people are out as well. I've actually had the same phone come in 3 times in the space of a week. The same guy, I think he had a week's holiday or whatever, and just decided he was going to enjoy it as much as possible. Lost his phone 3 times. We have had recently a few babies' dolls handed over to us, which has been the reason it's been kept kind of out there, out the way, is because it talks and laughs at you. Yeah, so if you're working late shifts in about 10, 11 o'clock at night and then you hear that, it can certainly send across a bit of a creepy message. I didn't actually know that its leg moved. That's something I've just found out. So these came in off of... Sorry. Do you mind? I'm trying to do something here.
Every person that you deal with is different, and I just generally enjoy dealing with people. But you do get certain ones who are quite a challenge.
Yvonne has to deal with all sorts at the customer mobility point.
I'm coming for you, son. You better run.
You better run out of Glasgow, mate.
You do see it all working here.
Woman beater. You're a coward and you're a woman beater.
Somebody kind of starting a bit of a fight. They were kind of just threatening each other, and then they're talking about stabbing one another. So it was just getting really quite violent. So they've been sent that way, and he's been sent that way. There's never a dull moment. I can have everything from information checks to platform checks, you name it. It's huge, mind the gap. Every day is different. If you're in the mobility point, it's just really like an information point as well. The most ridiculous question is always, is the front train or the back train going to go first? That, I have a really expressive face, and I don't really get that question. Obviously, the front train has to leave first until we can get the levitating trains going. I've also been asked, can my really real dog go on the train? Well, as opposed to your fake dog? When I got to the bottom of it, that was what he was asking me, was could just a normal dog go on the train? Yeah, of course.
First door, please.
Train dispatcher John is on the late shift.
I should deal with about 60 trains tonight, so once we get by the peak, things can get easier. So I'll just see how it goes. There'll be 4 or 5 trains going out within 10 minutes, so they're juggling. They're jumping from one platform to the next, hoping to get the train out in time. That's just the nature of the game. It's chaotic at times. On you get, come on.
As rush hour approaches, it's important everything is running like clockwork.
Could you give me an indication when to expect sets to form the 1503 Edinburgh, please?
I should be in at 1507.
07, Roger, thank you. Expecting that in at 1507, so it should be away for 10 past, okay. A minute delay becomes a knock-on effect, and it can actually accumulate hours of delays, just that 1 minute. Go ahead for 8.
They've moved the 03 Edinburgh, it's now the rear of 7.
Rear of 7, roger that, thank you.
He's been informed the Edinburgh train is now leaving from another platform.
This whole place is a total and utter shambles. This happens every day. It's an absolute pantomime.
And things are about to get even more complicated.
They've made an error here. They've put the 03 behind the 13 Kilmarnock. So we're speaking to the box just now to see if we can swap the trains over.
A signalling error has caused the Edinburgh train to be stuck behind another train on the same platform.
ScotRail 8 to base. Are we switching these sets round on platform 7? Or are we going with a delay on the Edinburgh?
I'm going to the box, I'll let you know as soon as we hear something.
Thank you. Pen, go ahead.
Apparently that is going to be the Edinburgh at the rear of 7, so it's going to have a 10-minute late start because the 13's off the top.
See that, thank you.
The front train is departing, meaning the Edinburgh train will leave 12 minutes later than scheduled. Just as John thinks he's got everything under control, for the Edinburgh passengers, there's more bad news.
This train is now cancelled, so we now have to break the bad news to all the passengers. They're not going to be best pleased. Trains must run in sync. Once they don't leave on time, they've missed the gap to go on the track. So there's trains coming and going different directions. This one's now out of sync, can't go. I believe it's quite a lot of money to cancel a train. It's not done lightly, but that's the decision. Just a shame for the passengers.
The train planning team work hard to bring the trains back into sync.
This train at the rear is now going in empty coaches through to Edinburgh to pick up back workings. It means that 2 trains aren't cancelled, just the one going out the way is cancelled. The one coming back will still be on. N22 good to go, signaller. 2N22 good to go. I think we got a tight spot there, but all's well that ends well.
Next time on Inside Central Station.
We're heading off to the Glasgow Pride March. I'm here with another couple of drivers and my 2 dogs.
Proud to be nurses!
We've got like Machine Gun Kevin. He's quite quick with the bells. And then you'll have John at Kilmarnock. He's got the death bells. Ding, 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 ding.
When I was looking for the new shop, I thought this place will be brilliant. You know, it's an icon, all that work done, the craftsmanship, wow. This is Glasgow, that's Glasgow, guess another way.